This is a very sad fact. Almost 5 years of medical school have not cured my procrastination. What is going on, good people? Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, my name is Nai and I am a final year medical student. So I started prepping for exams like maybe 3 months before, but then it was like casual type prep. It got serious 6 to 8 weeks before the exam. Every single thing I learned in the last like 2-3 years of medical school in basically 8 weeks. I definitely needed a plan. Which brings us to problem number 1. See, when it comes to like studying and like learning, revision, I don't really resonate with like the whole like focusing on planning and organization type of approach. I like to focus on consistency and discipline and like just
dedication, hard work.
So in other words, my plan was having no plan. I know. So the plan issue was ticked off quite quickly. The second issue was figuring out how much I should study in the final 8 or so weeks, introducing my catalog of moderately qualified evidence. So the random internet found that on average, college students study for final exams for roughly 14 to 28 hours over 1 or 2 weeks. Reddit, on the other hand, said 10 to 15 hours over 3 to 14 days. If you're a medical student listening to these rookie numbers, you're probably thinking, what the hell is going on? Because that is nowhere near enough time to study for medical school final exams. It's just not. Worry not, I stepped up the credibility of my research. So I decided to look into how long on average people spend studying for the USMLE, which is the US Medical Licensing Exam. It's serious business, it's a big curriculum, it's split into parts, that's how hard it is. So on average, I found that students spend 8 to 12 hours a day for 4 to 6 weeks studying for this exam. That is a total of 350 hours. Now that number sounds a lot more accurate and a lot harder. So in my case, given that I wasn't starting from scratch, I was 9 months into 4th year, which is the year I wrote the final exams. I was going to try and push for 200 hours of studying. And bear in mind, I also had placement at this time. It wasn't like I was just on study leave for 8 weeks. Like I still had to go to placement, to uni, most days of the week. So it was going to be hard. So the only rule to my no plan strategy was study as much as possible. And that's exactly what I did. I basically tried to like split it into blocks and use as much time up in my day as I could to study. And what do you know? The first week I managed to study for 35 hours, which I thought was quite impressive. And I realized that I had fallen into a cycle. Week 2 I did 63 hours, week 3 I did 49 hours. And I quickly realized that this cycle was the key to racking up the hours. If you do the hours, you get a return is the theory I was going on with. So I maintained the cycle, and week 4 I did 42 hours. So I basically continued in this fashion and I racked up a total of 189 hours, to be completely honest. 11 hours short of my target. But I think that it was a worthy effort, and if you were enjoying this video so far, please make sure to subscribe and leave a like, because that helps the channel. So I had basically hit my goal, but I still kind of had a question lingering in the back of my head. How much should you really study for your final exams? And what I like to do with this kind of like complicated question, which has so many factors, is I just try to find a bottom line answer that kind of like suits me. Which brings me on to this beautiful piece that I found by the Royal Society of Medicine, which talks about final year medical students and studying for final exams. And essentially, the point is that you don't need the knowledge of a consultant to pass these exams. You just need to be at the level of a junior doctor. So yeah, I just think that this piece of advice is just perfection. So at the end of the day, the no plan worked. I think I managed to study enough and I broke out of the cycle of procrastination. So if you're a procrastinator like me, what I do advise is try and create a cycle and focus on getting yourself into a cycle, because the cycle really helped me. I've said cycle too many times, haven't I? That is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I don't know if I mentioned that I ended up passing those exams because I'm in my final year. That was 4th year last year. But anyway, if you did like the video, make sure you leave a like. And with that, until the next one, stay tuned.